Well, good afternoon. My name's Rob Krummen. I'm the CEO of Vektor Medical, and I'm here today to talk about a global health crisis, the arrhythmia crisis. And I'm also here to talk about Vektor Medical's technology, vMAP, which is intended to address that crisis in multiple ways. And if you hear anything, the most important part of those three things that we add to that we help with the crisis. First, our product in clinical studies is shown to improve clinical outcomes in the hardest cases. Second, in the hardest cases and in the regular everyday cases, our technology improves workflows and reduces procedure time. And third, the modality of our technology, using just the ECG, allows us to transform arrhythmia understanding, moving it out of the EP lab, upstream, in the EP clinic, in the cardiologist's office, and potentially anytime we capture an ECG. Golfing, scuba diving. It's what we all aspire to in retirement, right? Not for these two. They both developed arrhythmias. Jerry and Grant developed arrhythmias, and they both sought the proper treatment. They both sought ablation. Both ablations failed. Luckily, they live in California, and they found vMAP, and they found electrophysiologists that use our technology, vMAP. It made all the difference. They had successful procedures, and today, Jerry is arrhythmia-free. She bikes 20 miles a day, and she has time to spend with her grandkids. Grant is also arrhythmia-free, and he's back to scuba diving, knowing that he can do the activity without fear. But let's talk more about the arrhythmia crisis. This isn't just a lifestyle disease. It's a deadly serious disease. Cardiac arrhythmias cause 10% of global deaths, and the number's growing. 1 in 4 of us will develop a serious arrhythmia. That's me, you, and 2 other people. The numbers are staggering. And left untreated, arrhythmias not only raise the risk of death, but have serious comorbidities, including stroke and dementia, 2 devastating diseases that huge cost to individuals and enormous cost to the healthcare system. So what are the numbers? What are we talking about? Today, there are 37 million people living with atrial fibrillation, and many, many millions more with additional arrhythmias. To put that in perspective, there are only 18 million people living with cancer. When you understand the numbers, you understand that the problem in arrhythmia is a treatment problem. We understand today from studies in Europe and the United States that the most effective long-term treatment is ablation. But ablation success rates are suboptimal. They're not good enough. The procedures take too long, and we can't throw enough manpower at the problem. We can't train enough electrophysiologists to meet the problem. We need a technological solution. Today, Vektor Medical is incredibly focused on the electrophysiology market with improved patient outcomes and faster procedures. But our innovation allows us to reach outside of that. What we'll talk about is the opportunities in cardiac rhythm management and pushing the procedure out to general cardiology. Here's our product today, Vektor's vMAP, the first and only FDA-cleared, clinically validated, non-invasive, AI-based solution for doing those 2 important things, improving inpatient ablation outcomes and procedural efficiencies. Let's talk about that third important value driver. It's the only solution in the world that leverages just the 12-lead ECG. Why is that so important? Well, the 12-lead ECG is the most used test in cardiology. And when I can get an arrhythmia understanding from just the 12-lead ECG, it means that I can tell you about your condition, whether I'm in the EP lab, the EP clinic, the cardiologist's office, the emergency department, your general practitioner, your remote monitoring. It's a game changer in arrhythmia. When we show this in our clinics today to patients who haven't understood their arrhythmia before, who were nervous about getting an ablation, the percentage of those patients that go and get the most effective treatment earlier, where it makes a real difference, goes up significantly, allows for widespread access and improved access to care. This is a really important figure that I want you all to see. This is based on last year's AF diagnosis in the United States. In the United States alone, 5 million patients were newly diagnosed with atrial fibrillation. Of those 5 million patients, 2%, that little sliver, got the most effective treatment. That is a failure of medicine, and we can do better. We can address those issues by more effective procedures, faster procedures, but let's go back to that third point. When we can understand an arrhythmia from an ECG, we can address the other 98%. We can pull them forward again to get that ablation they need early. How does it work? Well, vMAP is a novel AI-based approach to understanding the arrhythmia from inside the heart. If you understand anything about AI, and let's be honest, everyone according to LinkedIn knows something about AI. But if you actually know AI, you know that we can only learn from what we know. We can't learn from what we don't know. And computational simulation fills the gap in our knowledge. It provides us the information that we need to understand to get from what we know to the improved outcomes in what we need to know to help the electrophysiologist. And when I talk about the data available, I'm not talking about 10 or 100 or 1,000 or tens of thousands of data samples. Our computational library exists of over 1 million data samples of computational simulations and clinical samples that allow us to produce the results that we do. Let's talk about our traction. I'm incredibly proud of having hundreds and hundreds of successful procedures across the United States. We have 62 centers in the pipeline that have shown interest in bringing on vMAP across the United States, backed by an incredible law firm, Perkins Coie. We have over 25 issued patents in the United States and around the world, and many, many more that are pending. But we're also working on reimbursement. And why reimbursement is important is because we want to make sure that doctors and facilities are going to get paid for the use of vMAP outside of the EP lab. And that's going really well. We're on track for our target of $100 million in ARR by the end of 2028. Let's talk about the lifeblood of electrophysiology, strong clinical evidence. I'm proud to tell you that we have over 17 published publications and presentations at the most outstanding conferences and journals, peer-reviewed journals, dealing with our accuracy, the outcomes that we talked about, and the procedural efficiencies that are so important to solve the global arrhythmia crisis. But also importantly is this bottom number, an organic number that came out of the procedural efficiencies that we've seen, a 20% increase in procedure volume simply by having a vMAP involved. That means another procedure at the end of the day. That means another patient treated. I'm also incredibly proud of our expanded medical advisory board, world-class experts, recognized names, true visionaries in the field, both in atrial fibrillation and ventricular tachycardia. We look forward to working with these leaders to help bring this vision forward. AI doesn't stand still. This is our pipeline. The first one is in our technology today that just got released this summer, Beat Assist AI. We're also working in AI and co-registration, imaging, which we'll present this weekend at HRX, and a cloud distribution system. We believe our technology has a phenomenal growth opportunity just in our target beachhead with a $1.9 billion annual TAM and a CAGR of over 12%. We're seeking funding now because we're sitting on the launch pad. We're excited to expand our commercial footprint, obtain European CE mark, and get regulatory approval for our cloud distribution. We hope that you'll join us. We're passionate about arrhythmia care, and we look forward to speaking with you at the conference.